In today's video, I'm having a look at Japan's forecast for GDP. I'm also going to be looking at what's been said between the United Arab Emirates and Israel. And from then on, we're looking at what's been said by Governor Lowe today. Hello and welcome to another ACY Securities Market Update. My name is Alastair Schultz and I'm going to be your host through today's trading journey. The first thing I'm covering off is just making you guys aware that it is going to be a quiet day ahead. We're expecting it to be quiet for a couple of different reasons. The first of which is the US session was quite cool last night. And we're seeing that investors are starting to mull over the idea of what's going on with the stimulus package that's meant to be delivered. Currently, Democrats and Republicans have hit that stalemate and they don't seem to be able to get any further at the moment. In addition to that, we've seen futures markets in Australia, Japan and Hong Kong all having a bit of a rest. And we've also seen treasuries hit an 8-week high after the US decided to sell off 30-year treasury bonds. Now, in addition to that, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ have been pretty flat. We've seen trading volume 20% lower than the 30-day average. So we aren't getting as many traders in there at the moment as well. I think there's just a little bit too much going on for people to really be jumping in with accurate depictions on where they're going to go. The next one is on oil as well. Oil has fallen just a tad because there have been some reduced expectations for demand in the next couple of weeks. So we're expecting to see that probably fall a little bit more. Now, looking at what's got on, the big pieces, the third largest economy in the world, Japan, has got GDP forecast. Now, what we've seen so far is Japan's economy shrank last quarter by the most since 1955. We've also seen GDP estimates to be about 27% contraction as an annualized figure. Now, Monday, official data is going to be coming out, and we're expecting, if it's accurate, this will be the third straight quarter of declines. Now, this is obviously a bit of a situation for Japan. They've been hit by first the trade wars, then tax hikes, and now COVID-19 and the pandemic as well, which is just starting to get into problems. So keeping an eye on what's happening in the Japanese economy is going to be important, especially if you are trading stuff like the dollar yen or just the yen in general. Moving on, having a look at what's going on in Israel and the United Arab Emirates. They've both come to an agreement to continue some talks about what they're going to be doing in the future. And this is likely going to affect trade, air travel, and a variety of other metrics that we would usually see in good trade talks going forward. So hopefully this is a deal that they put together. It has been heralded by many politicians across the globe. So this will be an interesting one to keep an eye on because obviously we know they do have a bit of tension between a number of those countries in the Middle East. Moving on again, household debt in China is rising. Chinese household debt has risen by 59.7% of their GDP in the last quarter. Now, this is double the 2012 highs, and it is a little bit concerning, but there is a little bit of speculation as to why it's happening. They've got a property boom currently going on, and online lending has contributed towards this rise in debt a lot. Now, of course, trading volumes have also increased a very big number at 1 trillion yuan a day. So when we look at all of that put together, we can see that that online lending to borrow money to purchase stocks is occurring, and it was speculated that this was happening before. Now, the interest though is that these guys are probably making a bit of money considering how hot the Chinese stock market is at the moment. Now, moving on to the Reserve Bank of Australia. Today, Governor Lowe made a statement, and this is really based on what's been going on the Victorian situation. Governor Lowe said he is expecting there not to be any lift in economic growth until the fourth quarter of this year. And that may, in fact, not even occur then because Victoria's lockdown has really offset the recovery efforts of the Australian RBA. Now, of course, households and businesses are also being quite cautious on their spending, and the governor noted that as well. So we do have a few things there to consider for the Australian economy, and it really does look like it's going to be dependent on how we can get Victoria back on its feet again and make sure that the rest of the states surrounding it don't end up in a similar predicament. Now, looking at the news ahead of today, obviously it is Friday, it's pretty quiet. I have had a look at all of the news that I can see there. The best ones that are going to be impactful are going to be core retail sales and retail sales out of the US. And of course, we're going to be seeing the University of Michigan's consumer sentiment reports. So those are really the big ones to be looking at tonight. The rest are relatively low impact, but you never know, you might find something unscheduled a bit later on in the evening. So keep your worries on whilst you're trading through the evening. Now, of course, if there's anything from today's video you would like to get in contact with me about, please feel free to shoot me an email at talktoal@acy.com. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video so you can get more great content from me and ACY Securities in the future. Have a great trading day ahead.